The world of Harry Potter, a global phenomenon that transcended the pages of books to become a multi-billion-dollar empire, presents a fascinating and masterful case study in the strategic management of an unexpected and immense windfall, a lesson in transforming a single stroke of luck into a self-perpetuating economic and cultural institution. The journey began not in a corporate boardroom but with a single, foundational idea, a story of a young wizard that was so uniquely compelling and richly detailed it possessed an inherent, almost magical staying power, creating an initial burst of success that was the first golden galleon in what would become a vast and seemingly limitless treasure trove. The true genius, however, lay not in the mere acquisition of this wealth but in its visionary deployment and relentless multiplication, a process that understood the core narrative was not a product to be depleted but a seed from which an entire forest could be grown. Instead of resting on the laurels of literary success, the stewards of this burgeoning empire recognized that the initial prize money was merely the fuel for a much larger engine. It was capital to be strategically reinvested not into the original product itself, but into the expansive ecosystem that could be built around it, transforming a beloved story from a passive experience into an immersive, tangible reality that fans could touch, see, and live. This was achieved through a meticulously orchestrated strategy of diversification and brand extension, where every major investment, from the blockbuster film series to the meticulously crafted theme parklands, served a dual and powerful purpose. They were, of course, massive revenue streams in their own right, but more importantly, they functioned as monumental and perpetual advertisements for the entire franchise universe, each one reinforcing the others in a virtuous cycle of cultural relevance. The films did not just adapt the books, they visually defined the world for a generation, creating iconic imagery that became the default mental blueprint for millions, while the theme parks offered a physical pilgrimage site, a place where the magic was made real, thereby deepening emotional investment and creating lifelong ambassadors for the brand. Furthermore, this expansion was carefully controlled to maintain a cohesive brand identity, ensuring that every licensed product, from interactive wands to butterbeer, felt like an authentic artifact from that world rather than a cheap piece of merchandise, thus preserving the brand's integrity and perceived value. This long-term perspective, which prioritized the vitality and expansion of the world itself over short-term profit extraction, ensured that the story remained a living, breathing entity in the global consciousness, constantly being reintroduced to new generations through new mediums and experiences. From video games and stage plays to mobile apps and museum exhibitions. The initial windfall was thus not an end but a beginning, a catalytic spark used to build an engine that would generate its own future fuel indefinitely. This meticulous, expansive management demonstrates the most profound financial wisdom, that the greatest value of a windfall is not in the capital itself, but in its potential to be leveraged as a tool for building an enduring and self-sustaining kingdom, where the initial magic is not just preserved but is continuously compounded, creating a legacy that is both financially impregnable and culturally immortal.